Now, I respect everything you just said. 100%. But I would say this. I am going to say this. Because in the last show, you did say, what's the criteria? They need to make it official. It can't get no more official than from the words of Dana White himself. He said, Max Holloway is still the BMF. Okay? So if you have an issue with it, take it up with the UFC brass. Even Max's, when he was being spoken to during the press conference, when he was asked about Ilias starting around with a BMF belt, he said the same thing that I said in the last show, which was the belt was not on the line when they walked into the octagon. It is a real championship belt. It was not put on the line. All right? He even said, could you imagine if I forgot who he said if
Volkanovski. He said if Islam walked around with both belts after beating Volkanovski, which was a light heavyweight fight. The analogy made no sense. What he said made no sense. No, it doesn't.
I'm gonna explain to you why it makes perfect sense. Explain to you why it makes perfect sense. Because what he's trying to say is that when you walk to the octagon, the commission officiated only one belt to be put on the line. So when Holloway and Topuria fought last night, the commission only officiated one belt to be put on the line, which was the featherweight championship belt. It wasn't both belts put on the line.
Who's responsible for that, though?
Who's responsible for that?
Okay.
Not Max. Max isn't responsible for that.
Who said Max was responsible? I never said Max was responsible. Who's blaming Max Holloway for this? Who am I blaming for this? You saying somebody getting blamed?
I'm gonna give it an answer. Fair enough. I'm gonna give it an answer. The same man who says that Max is still the BMF, Dana White and the rest of the UFC brass. You said it yourself. You said that they should have some sort of criteria. The criteria is being standardized right now before our eyes. So Max is still the BMF.
It's being standardized, but what's the criteria?
For one, the belt got to be on the line when they walk to the octagon. Just like any other belt, the belt has to be on the line.
No, it's not like any other belt. It's not like any other belt because no other belt does a champion go in and is not being defended. You bringing up what you're bringing up in regards to Israel Adesanya and Israel Makhachev is our weight classes. That's a whole weight class situation. You can't defend a belt when a person is not in your weight class. Those are two different things.
This belt is not affiliated with any particular weight class.
So what is it affiliated with?
What it's affiliated with?
Yeah, you did. You know what? Let's stop this because you keep saying stuff and digging a hole. You keep saying it's not this, it's not that. No. You're saying it's not this, it's not that, it's not that. So what is it then? Mr. Criteria, because this is my argument the whole time. What's the criteria?
Okay. Number one, first of all, when the belt is actually put on the line, let's make that clear. When the fight is officially made for the belt, that's when you know that this.
When is it put on the line? Wait! No, I can't let you get that. Are you giving me one right now? What's the criteria for the belt being put on the line?
Just let the criteria for any other belt. The commission officiates it. The UFC said this belt. The UFC says this fight is going to be for this belt.
So is there a ranking behind this belt? You saying this is like what are you saying? What is the criteria for this belt?
It's a different type of belt. It's the belt associated with the attitude of the fighter. Fan favorite.
What? You making stuff up, man.
You see, this is the thing.
You making stuff up as you go along. Y'all making stuff. There is no criteria for this belt.
Here's the problem. I know. Here's the problem here. You're trying to hold this belt to the same standards as every other belt.
No, bro. I'm trying to hold the belt to a standard. I'm trying to hold the belt to a standard. Give me something. You're not telling me anything substantial. You're saying it's not like this, it's not like that. Then what is it like? What's the classification for somebody getting a title shot? This belt has been in 2 different weight classes already. We done seen it in the Masvidal weight class. Masvidal now all of a sudden it's in the lightweight class. It's in lightweight now. It's in featherweight. It's in lightweight. Then then I just seem to put what weight class is this belt? It's not associated with a weight class. You telling me all the things it's not. What is it?
It's not. I give you that. The reason. No. I give you that part. And I said in the last show, I wish they never made a pause in the continuation of the belt, because we all know what happened was Dana White said that after Masvidal, there will never be another BMF champ, and then he decided to bring it back. So that I give you. That I agree with you with. They should not have never done that. They should just continue it, because I was fighting for the belt since then, and my attitude has not changed since till now. So the first criteria, like I said, they announced this belt was on the line. That's the first criteria, the very first criteria. And that's how the belt started between Masvidal and Diaz. The second criteria is the general consensus that yes, this guy is a BMF. There's general consensus. Max Holloway is a BMF. Gaethje was a BMF. Masvidal is a BMF. Diaz is a BMF. Like these are all consensus fan favorites, and we all agree that you guys are BMFs. So the belt's on the line.
So we all agree that they're all BMFs. Mm-hmm. I guess Topuria doesn't fit into this equation.
No, he definitely fits. He fits.
Oh, he fits it, and he's just not.
The belt wasn't on the line, bro. The belt wasn't on the line. No, Kev, but did you say in the last show I wish you did put both belts on the line? Oh
man, what you saying to me don't make no sense, bro. You didn't. You said they gotta say it's on the what?
This is funny part. This is the thing.
So why is so? Let me ask you a question. Yeah. The belt that Topuria. No, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. This is my last question. I'm done with this. So the belt, because I don't see the belt that Topuria is walking around. Is that the legitimate BMF belt, or is that a belt they bought from Amazon or something?
I think he bought that. I think he got the legit belt.
So who has the legit belt? They don't walk around with it.
Max Holloway does.
Alright, man.
Why would he walk around with it? It was not on the line.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Why is he walking around with a fake belt? Because why is they asked Max Holloway, bro? They asked Max Holloway, and he said, "Do you see?" It sounds like it's the real belt to me. He said he could have just said it was a fake belt. He turned around and said, "Do you see Volkanovski? Do you see Islam and them walking around with the?" If I ain't know any better, I would say that's the actual belt. You could have just said it was a fake belt.
I'm gonna tell you why. That belt, he was walking with that belt before they even had to fight.
Is it the real belt?
No, I just told you, Topuria was walking around with that belt before they even had to fight.
You know for a fact that's not whether he walked around with it before. I'm asking you. Do you know for a fact it's not the real belt? Okay.
It's not the real belt. Kev, if I just told you that he was walking around with the belt before they even fought, how is that even a real belt?
Bro, there it is. How is it a real belt? That's my main point. A real belt. That's my main point to this whole thing. Like, it's a prop belt. It's a prop belt. Whenever they want to sell something, they'll make it a main event and they'll say, "Hey guys, BMF." This is a marketing tool. I don't know what you sat there, bro, and just named a bunch of stuff that ain't make any sense to any titles, bro.
Kev, all these belts are marketing tools.
No. Nah, bro, you can say the whole UFC is a marketing tool if that's the way you're gonna go.
It is. Did you see, bro?
Come on, now you watering down the whole thing.
No, I'm not
watering down the whole thing.
Kev, watch it. What's the difference between a fight on the street and a fight that gains our interest that gains hundreds of thousands of pay-per-view buys? The story behind it. A belt being put for a fight makes the fight that much more intriguing. Would we even care about John Jones and Stipe right now if it wasn't for the heavyweight championship? No.
Come on, bro. It creates a hierarchy. It creates a hierarchy. What are you talking about? If people was just fighting randomly, what's that's just a fight.
Hey, we just said that a lot of times these guys, we know for a fact in the UFC, a lot of times these guys get championship chances when they don't even deserve the title fight. We know this, Kev. We know this. There's plenty of examples in the UFC of fighters fights
when they don't deserve it. I mean, this
happens all the time.
That's objective. I mean, that's subjective. That's come on,
bro. Come on.
If a guy come on, guy, that's different from a guy. No. That's different. You're watering down the whole concept of having a championship just to bring the BMF belt in with everything else.
I'm not watering
bro,
it down.
You saying it like they can just grab somebody off the roster and say, "Here's a title shot." That's not what happens. You have guys that are ranked in the top 10 because that's how you making it sound. There are guys ranked. Some guys are ranked higher than others, and some guys may get title shots based on popularity and stuff like that. Okay, but it's not like they're completely out off the roster. When you say undeserving, you're saying more deserving than another, not completely undeserving, bro.
Okay, Kev, I could say that for the BMF. It's not like they take random dudes and put them together and say this is you fight for the BMF belt. The dudes who they fight for the BMF belt is dudes that we all agree are bad motherfuckers.
I don't know, bro. What I'm trying, bro, every belt basically has a criteria to it. Are you ranked in the top 10? Who have you fought last? There is a criteria to every belt. There's structure to every belt. Even if you don't agree with a decision, you can say, okay, a guy was number 5, a guy was number 7. He knocked the guy out a certain way based on the optics. I feel like number 2 should have got it. There is no criteria to this belt. It sounds like you just want to water everything down to say, this whole thing is a marketing thing. No, there's a difference. Bro. These belts, come on, bro. This belt, I've seen people knocked out and still maintain this belt. Why aren't other belts like that? Every belt is up for grabs every time, unless you just miss weight or violate.
It's a special kind of belt, Kev.
Bro, why? Nah, what are you talking about?
Watch this.
It's a prop, Shelz.
This is
the owner of the company disowned that belt multiple times already.
Yeah,
multiple times. But when it's time, when something comes up, when there's no main event, when something comes up, you see all of a sudden the belt gets put back.
This time I'm pretty sure it's going to stick this time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to stick this time.
I'm
saying this on the record.
Have fun with it.
Let me say this on the record. I'm going to say two things on the record. 2 things on the record for your side. Number 1, Dana White should have never said that after Masvidal there be no more BMFs and bring it back, because it did take legitimacy away from the belt. Now watch this. If he does this again, I'm with you. Forget the belt. But I don't believe he's going to do that. Now, here's my next point.
So what's the criteria for getting the title shot? What's the criteria for getting a title shot? You ain't answering any of my questions, bro.
Let me get my next point off, and then I'll answer. Let me get my next point off. The fight between Topuria and Holloway, I believe it should have been for both belts. That's what it should have been for both belts, but it wasn't.
Stating the obvious, man. You stating the obvious. You stating the obvious. So why wasn't it?
It wasn't.
Why wasn't it?
You have seen that.
Okay. My point is this. Exactly. My point is there's no criteria. They are making this up as they go along. Like, what are you talking about? There's no criteria. You can't even give me a criteria for the belt.
Watch this.
Give me one criteria for the belt. When the commission, what determines when the commission is cause and effect?
Let me give you a criteria. Let me give you a criteria right now. The person, the fighter, is a consensus badass by the fans.
That's son. How much people on the roster is like that?
It could be a lot.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no criteria, bro.
That's the criteria. It's a different kind of belt.
No, bro. You can't. If it's that's a needle in it. Come on, bro. That's a dime a dozen. I mean,
it's a different kind of belt.
Come on, bro.
It's a different kind of belt, Kev.
Come on, Shelz. Come on, man.
Kev, it's a different kind of belt, bro. You just gotta accept it's a different kind of belt, bro.
No. I go beyond that. You should accept it's a prop. I'm beyond that. It's a prop, bro. Like I'm not going any further. Case is closed.
It's a different kind of belt, bro.
I hear you. Yeah, absolutely.
And to all the fans out there, you should want this belt to stick around because it gives those UFC fighters pay-per-view points. Let's put that out there.
To all the fans out there, first of all, pay-per-view points when they want to. When they want to, what determines that? What determines that? To be honest with you, I think it's the exact opposite. I think the reason why we don't see this belt more often is because they don't want to give pay-per-view points. I think it's the exact opposite. But I'm not exactly.
Beautiful point.
Exactly. So they got other championships. Exactly.
When they do fight, they got to get those pay-per-view points.
Exactly. Prop. Only when it's beneficial to them. Only when it's beneficial to them. Ain't got nothing to do with no fighters that's bad. Ain't got nothing to do with that.
Against you, Max Holloway's next fight is going to be for the BMF belt.
Awesome. That's. I would like to see that bout, that non-title bout. That would be great. Good for you.
And we're going to watch it and talk about it.